Hi, welcome back to English 114. We have two assignments this week. You've already looked at this information for your first part of your assignment, the career assignment, but this is an introduction to informal reports. And informal reports can have various levels of complexity. So it can be something simple, such as just reporting something, like in a progress report. It can be something more complex, where you're going to report information and also analyze the information that you've been given. And it can be as complex as the third level, where you would report information, analyze it, and then you would give a recommendation. The unsolicited informal proposal, which is not due this week, but will be due on July 8th. You can see the different dates. I want to know what your idea is for your proposal by July 14th, your proposal outline by July 21st, and your proposal itself, the final written proposal, the 28th. And we're also going to do a virtual presentation of your proposal, and that's also due by July 28th. So this is not due this week, but I want you to read the document and find out what the assignment is all about and be thinking about it. Here are the documents right here. Here's a Word document if you prefer a PDF. Here it is here. But this is explaining to you what this assignment is all about. So again, I can't tell you enough. It is in the future. It is not right now. Okay, so here's the assignment snapshot. You want to create a report in memo format. See, this says internal, unsolicited, informal proposal. So internal means it is for the company that you work for. Now, it can be an actual company that you work for, or it can be a fictitious company, but it is internal. So when we do internal correspondence, we use memo format. So it's unsolicited means nobody asked you to investigate this. So this is something that you're asking for someone that you work for to make a decision about. There's a problem, and you have solved the problem, and you're offering a proposal for how to fix the problem. So here's the directions here. Create a report in memo format that identifies a workplace problem you feel needs to be solved. It can be in your actual workplace, somewhere else in your community that you have observed and are pretending to be an employee, or you can fictionalize the entire situation. Some people are good at fictionalizing, some people not so much. So, for example, sealed windows in your office building are creating sick building syndrome, and many employees are getting ill more frequently and for longer periods of time. That's the problem, and then your proposal will be to offer a solution to the problem. Address the memo to your manager, shift supervisor, or someone who would have the authority to make the decision. And you can follow the more detailed steps below and see an example with commentary below to help you. Remember, typical memo format is shown on figure 8.8 on page 286. You want to include 2 graphics of your choice that add value to the report. Not something that's decorative, but something that actually adds value. Introduce graphics with text and then label them appropriately the same way you did in your instructions assignment. Tables are labeled at the top with a title and number. Table 1, costs for replacing windows. And figures are labeled underneath with a title and number. Figure 1, image of replacement window. Now this stuff about replacement windows is just an example. You can feel free to use it if you would like to, but you can come up with your own example too. Excuse me, the length of the assignment probably is going to be about 3 to 4 pages. You want to, any information that you get from a website or from interviewing a person, you want to cite your sources on the Works Cited page if you used outside sources. And you probably will have to, like for instance in this fictitious thing about the windows, showing a picture of a replacement window that will open instead of the ones that are sealed. Alright, so when you write an internal unsolicited informal proposal, state your purpose under the heading Introductory Summary. Remember, a purpose statement for it. Every time we have an introductory summary, we tell the person that we're addressing why we are writing. Do this clearly and concisely so that the reader knows immediately why you're writing. Then under the heading Problem, give some background information about why you are proposing your suggestion so that the reader has a better understanding of the problem. Under the heading The Solution, state a solution to the problem, and this is where you give specifics about your suggestion. After you give me your proposal ideas and I approve them and say, yes, it'll work well for this assignment, you will need to do an outline for this, and you will need to know where you're heading with all of this under these headings. What specifically is the problem? What specifically is your solution? And then under the heading The Cost, continue with any costs that will be involved. For instance, replacing windows would definitely have a cost. And under the heading Conclusion, conclude by restating your problem and proposed solution and asking that they accept your proposal. A sample internal unsolicited proposal, I have created one and I have labeled it. So you don't have to do this. You don't have to put my stuff, like the header. I'm just telling you, this is what you would have at the top of your memo, the to, from, date, subject. And please remember to tab over so that your text lines line up and it's so much easier to read. You may have seen me make comments on your memos before, and if it said, if my comment was align text, that's what I mean. Align it over here instead of having it all jagged and crammed up over here by your headings. Alright, then you're going to have your introductory summary. You will do it just like this. Not introduction summary, introductory summary, summary with an A. And then you're going to just follow my sample here. I always love to give a sample so you can see what I'm talking about, and I've done that here. And then I put in this commentary. You can read this. I'm not going to read it to you, but it tells you why I put this information in and the purpose of it. You won't have anything like this. You'll just have introductory summary like that. Then the problem. I've given all the information. Notice single line space, skip a line, single line space, skip a line between paragraphs, because that is the normal format for business letters. And I've given you some commentary on that. You're not going to have any commentary. Yours will be just like that. The solution, same thing. And here is where I have shown them what I'm talking about with these pencil sharpeners. See figure 1 below for a picture of the used all day Pro Student electric pencil sharpeners. And then I have inserted it. Notice I have left some space. It's not all crammed up into the text. And then underneath I have labeled it figure 1, used all day Pro Student electric pencil sharpener. So I mention it in the text, and then I put it in, and then I label it underneath. And I have Made some more commentary on it. Remember, you're not making commentary. You're just putting in your information. The cost, I decided to put in a table there. Tables are labeled at the top. And I mentioned it in the text. See table 1 below for a breakdown of the costs. And that's my table that I put in. And I made some commentary. You won't make any commentary. And then my conclusion. And so, and I ended with this statement, and this is something that you might consider. Thank you for considering making this purchase for our teachers and students. It's not about me, and I'm tired of the pencil sharpeners, and I'm tired of the problems with the students. It's about making it for everyone. So if you can put it in the light of it's a good thing for everyone, it's more likely to be received. And so suggestions for topics, I've given some here. You can look at those, you can act on those, you can come up with your own thing. Do not pick something big and hard and something we can't do. Do not try to create higher pay and respect for teachers everywhere. No. In fact, don't even do anything that's going to require somebody else controls the budget. Like, the state of North Carolina determines teachers' pay, and there's nothing you can do about it by approaching your supervisor. So if there is something that can be done regarding pay that your supervisor can do something about, then you can do that. But it's best to do something concerning a process that goes on, an improvement for a process that's not working as well, or redesign of a space, or something. You may even want to hire a new person, but then you would also need to know how much it would cost to do that, and you're going to have to explain why it would be cost effective to do that. Probably better than hiring somebody, you might suggest like a different shift schedule or scheduling of hours or something like that. Whatever you decide, you're going to give me the idea that you have, and then I'm going to tell you, yes, that will work, and maybe give you some hinters that'll help you with that. Okay, so all of this is important. Keep going back to it and looking at it. This is why I'm giving it to you ahead of time. I want you to think about it so that you can that you can give me by July 14th. You can give me what your idea is. Then you're going to do an outline that I'm going to provide that week. That's due by July 21st. That is going to ask you specifically, what is your problem? What is your solution? How much is this going to cost? What is your timeline for getting this done? What kind of graphics are you going to use? Remember, you're going to have 2 graphics that add value to your report. So, the reason I'm giving it to you now is so you can start thinking about it. It is not due now. It is not due this week. The only thing that's due this week is the career correspondence assignment. You're going to turn that in on the Turn It In link here, and then you're going to email me your idea for your proposal by July 14th. Email, okay? So if you have any questions, please contact me, and I'll be glad to help you. Thanks. I'll see you next time.